computer. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, Ignacy Portal Games.
And this is the Podfather of Gaming, Stephen Bonacore. You are listening to episode 180. We're recording it on January 31st, the last day of January 2021. Board Games Insider is a proud member of the Dice Tower Network. And who would have thought that Tom Vassell would get a tattoo before Stephen Bonacore? The world is truly upside down. Have you heard about this? That he's getting a tattoo because he hit $325,000 on the Kickstarter. So he said if they do that, him, Mike DeLisio, and Roy Canaday are all getting tattoos. Now, Roy has got more tattoos than body space, I think. So not a big deal for him to get another one. But Tom Vassell's getting his first tattoo. I don't have any tattoos. Do you have any tattoos?
No, I'm afraid of all these needles and that stuff. Of course, my wife Mary is more cool than I am, so she, of course, has. But me, no. When I see a nurse with a needle, I'm fainting. So not business for me.
I'm going to slip the tattoo artist an extra $100 so that he adds or she adds "I love Bonacore" right on the tattoo. I think that would be great. Now, come on, I would easily do that. $200.
That would be a prank of the decade, I tell you that.
That would be a little too cruel even for me. Ignacy, tell us what's happening over there at Portal Games.
At Portal Games, in general, we are recovering after PortalCon, obviously.
Oh yeah.
I checked this weekend my stats on my app BG Stats, and in January I haven't played a game. It was insane month of preparation for the big event, and now recovering. For all of you who are listening to us in upcoming days, I don't know when we will drop this podcast, but around this time we are closing the pre-order for Vienna Connection. I was mentioning this for a couple of weeks already, so this last moment. Once again, just a very short reminder, because I imagine that some of you are already bored with this information, but once again, if you pre-order now, as always from Portal Games, you will get so much more value, so much more content than a retail version of the game. With this pre-ordered from our website, you will get additional huge political map of Europe. You will get 10 custom wooden pieces. You will get Cold War for Dummies brochure that help you learn about the setting of the game. 16 envelopes, 16 postcards with original photos from the era, from these cities that action takes place, and dedicated file folder, etc., etc. So you will get a ton of additional products, mini expansions, and gadgets along with the base game of the game. So I strongly recommend, and you will get it all for free if you pre-order from us. So check out our website, portalgames.pl/en, learn about this spy thriller that is coming this May to your local game stores. And if you order from us, you will get it in April already.
Awesome.
So this is the most important what's happening this week. For brag of the week, we double check all the data, and I am happy to announce that the live stream from PortalCon Polish version was one of the biggest events in board gaming in general. It was insane. We had more than 2,000 people live watching. So I counted all these streams, all these YouTube views that we had during this live, and we have data, more than 2,000 people watching as we are announcing new games, including second edition of Zombicide for Polish market, including Bloodborne for Polish market, including Clash of Cultures for Polish market, etc., etc. We announced 12 new games for Polish market, and the fans here in Poland were absolutely crazy about that. So that was my brag of the week. I did quite a live stream here in Poland last weekend. Pre-orders, once again, pre-orders, Vienna Connection, now or never. I said in my seminar, and everybody's making fun of me right now, so I can quote it if you missed this. I said now or eBay, and apparently it was good. People make fun of me. So yes, it is now or eBay. Last moment to pre-order the stuff. And gossips and rumors from HQ. Yes, Marek, who was preparing with me PortalCon, took 1 week off. I was also working a little bit slower. In Poland, we released this past week a Polish edition of Us and the Legacy from Stronghold Games and Indie Board and Cards. Absolutely amazing game. I said it very openly many times. ESSEN is the best deck building game on the market, and ESSEN Legacy is one of the best legacy games on the market. I played it with my wife. We finished the whole campaign, and now we are proud to do a Polish edition. Fans in Poland who already received the pre-order copies are just crazy. You can, if you go check Polish internet, Polish Facebook, ESSEN Legacy all day long.
And just to make the English a little clear, it's Aeon's End, right? Aeon's End Legacy.
Yes.
It was a little bit unclear to my ear, so maybe other people. Aeon's End Legacy, yeah, and that really is an amazing implementation of a legacy game already on top of a fantastic deck building game. And kudos to my former colleagues over at Indie Boards and Cards. That was on the Indie Boards and Cards side. Nick Little did an amazing job of adapting that into a legacy game. So
everything in this game works. I mean, in terms of the rules, how the progress of the characters, how the progress of the enemies works. The story is legit, is interesting, makes absolutely sense what's happening. So we are very proud to be Polish partner for this game, and I strongly recommend to everybody who check out their language editions worldwide. And the last piece of news from Portal Games, I once again strongly invite everybody to check my videos every Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, so morning time on Monday. You can check me out, live streaming from my headquarters, from Polish headquarters. And each week I'm picking one topic. I'm discussing, these are industry topics, sometimes funny, sometimes serious. So check out every Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, check out our YouTube channel. I will be live with you chatting. So this was happening at Portal Games. After PortalCon, still busy.
Very good. You need to be busy. Come on, you're running a company. I need to not be busy, and I am. Excuse me, but I am. But I'll be kind of brief this week. This week was a lot of stuff for me and the house, and Paula and I went out, and we're gonna do some remodeling here because we're gonna stay here forever, so we're gonna do some remodeling. So I'm gonna be posting some amazing kind of photos of things that are gonna happen here at the I call it the Stronghold South. I still gotta call it that, like Podfather headquarters. Remodeling of the kitchen, remodeling, creating a bar area and things like that. So it's gonna be kind of cool. And we were out like looking at the tiling for the various parts of the house and stuff like that, but more of that as it develops over the next several months. But stuff regarding the Podfather and in social media itself, I set up the group, the Podfather of Gaming group. So yes, maybe you have liked the Podfather of Gaming page. Thank you very much. But go up and join the Podfather of Gaming group. We're posting discussion threads there and things like that. Some really funny stuff being posted there, not only by myself, but mostly by the fans and a lot of the people who go over to the happy hour. So out of the happy hour, these funny memes and things like that get posted up there with some great artwork by Debbie Ohai, who's a noted children's artist, and she's been doing artwork with our pictures in it and stuff like that on the happy hour. And of course, with that, again, inviting you to join us. You can just sit there and listen in. It's just fun, silly times. We've had some new people show up recently, which has been great. We've completely made them very worried about what we're talking about. No, but we have a lot of fun on that. Happy Hour with the Podfather, which is every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, or Sunday, which is today, at 4 p.m. Eastern time for 1 hour each one of those weeks. And the only other thing I want to mention is that I'm liking my odds on these conventions, Ignacy. So I'm telling everybody out there that if they get their vaccine and and the world is starting to get some normalcy together, I hope to see you. Dice Tower East, it's the first possible one, maybe. Gen Con, I'm hoping. Dice Tower Retreat, Essen. We've got great news on Essen possibly running. BGG Con and PAX Unplugged for the rest of the year. I'm excited about seeing everybody again. So stay tuned. We'll tell you when things happen, but you also stay tuned and watch for them because they're going to happen. We'll be back to con normalcy, hopefully in the very near future. And with that, time for the news and the event deck. So Ignacy, I love when geeks spend money on their hobby. You spend money on your hobby, right? How about spending $511,000 on one Magic card? A high grade, rated 10, Magic the Gathering Alpha Black Lotus goes for $511,100. Price was double the previous record. So this was a certified 10. They put it under glass and all that kind of stuff. The bidding had gone up to over 700,000, but a lot of the bids were disallowed because you can't, it's done on the internet. If you can't verify the bidders, then, because somebody can just go there and say, yeah, $1 million. So
Sure,
they
sure.
knocked out some of those bids, but they had a legitimate bid of $511,100 US. Crazy amount. One Magic card. Oh, wouldn't I have loved to have been into Magic with the first printing? I did not get it with the first printing. I was there for the revised. So great stuff, huh? I mean, that's
This is mind blowing. Like this is like we all are so happy when we see that our hobby is getting some recognition. This is like beyond everything. There are people who love this game so much, and I guess have some legit business that they can afford that much money for one card. Great news. Well, maybe one day my card from my game will be worth like 1,000. I hope for 1,000. Okay.
my card from Terraforming Mars Prelude with my face on it. Maybe that'll go for 500. Yeah, no, it won't.
I remember if we can once again give it with a funner seal or any comment. Back then, 2017, there was a huge hype for First Martians, and at the Dice Tower Con, there was an auction, and I gave for this charity auction, the first copy of First Martian that I got the sample from the manufacturer. And Eric Link, now we became friends. Then I didn't know him. He bought this copy for $700, and I was terrified. I was terrified because it showed the hype for the game. It showed how people are waiting for this game. And then I get to know Eric, and we became friends.
That's nice.
But yeah, it was very, very cool moment during the charity auction.
Very, very, very cool. I remember that. So we have some bad news in the industry, and you and I, we don't shy away from talking about things honestly, because it's important. It's important for everybody to hear these things. I think it is anyway. So Jeff DeBoer steps down as the president of funagain.com after a series of gaffes, poorly worded statements in social media, and they were kind of in defense of a noted designer, Phil Eklund, who did the PAX games and things like that. Very, very good designer. Jeff DeBoer stepped down in his role as president, and he specifically did so, he said, to protect the livelihood of his coworkers. Now, without going into too much detail, because some of the statements were particularly bad, he made these statements. The internet blew up, as it always does, and he basically said, "Okay, I was wrong. I'm out. I'm going to step down." And the rest of his company is now running it. The rest of the people in his company, his second hand, is now the president of the company, stuff like that. I think it was an honorable thing to do. I do know Jeff, and he made some really stupid statements, and I was very sad to see them. But I guess in the end, at least he did the right thing to save the livelihoods of the rest of the people who are working there, so that they can continue working and the company doesn't just crumble, which would have been sad for the 100 people that work. It's a very big, Funagain's very big, not only online retailing, but their logistics arm. Like, they ship probably more Kickstarters, at least as many as anybody else in the United States. Them and QML are number one and number two, I would think. And I think that they're bigger. So anyway, that was sad. I don't know if you saw any of that, but it was not good.
I saw just a bit of things in the internet, but it was I guess it was like 2 or 3 days before PortalCon, so I was like so focused on PortalCon that I just saw that there's some things happening, but I said, okay, I don't have time for now because PortalCon. So to be honest, I don't know details. What you said, I absolutely agree that if he decided, okay, if he said I was wrong, I'm stepping down, I think that was nicely solved.
Yeah. I mean, he could have stayed there, and then people could have not wanted to buy the games from them and this,
Yep.
and the
Yep.
company
And
could
it
have
influences
crumbled, and
everybody.
that
Yep.
hurts everybody. So
Yep.
he's taken a hit, and he's been hurt by it. And okay, so we move on. But we want to talk about these things because we want to be honest. We want to be open with everything. Now, back to good news. And I mentioned that we got great Essen news. The Spiel in Essen will run in October 2021. Well, maybe,
Hopefully.
most likely, kind of. We don't know yet. But they put out a big announcement basically saying that, quote, we have decided we want to hold a Spiel convention, unquote. Organizer Friedhelm Merzverlag said of the annual Essen Game Fair, citing the prospect of a widespread vaccination program by fall as a reason for hope. This year's show is scheduled for October 14th through 17th, 2021. The 2020 show was canceled, of course, due to COVID pandemic, and they canceled that, way before that it ran. So obviously, they're going to be having certain safety protocols in place. They've mentioned that in their release. They've also officially started opening registration for exhibitors. Now, of course, exhibitors have to plan much further in advance. So Ignacy would have gotten his information on picking his booth and things like that. I got information, even though it's not for me. I passed it along over to Stronghold Indie. They probably got it too, but just in case. So anyway, and the payment schedules and everything. So they are officially moving forward as if they can run. But they did say that if they can't run, it will be a digital convention again, which is going to be interesting to see when they make that shift from in-person to digital. Last year, they did it in plenty of time and they made it all happen. So if they're going along and at what point do they say, like, let's just say it's August and we don't know, is there enough vaccines in Europe, right? This has got to be basically in Germany. When do they make that call? I'm going to predict they'll make that call by August 1st, because that would be the time that exhibitors have to fully pay for their booth, right? That's their second payment, fully pay. I think it's August 1st or August 15th, one of those. So great news, right? I mean, Ignacy, this is, I know that you're a little skeptical about being there, the first convention, but if somebody sticks a needle in my arm, I'm going to be there. That's all I'm saying. Right now, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, this is a very difficult situation. So absolutely, I fully support Essen preparing for the show. We don't want them to wait and suddenly start preparing. So I fully appreciate that they are trying to run the show. If at some point, as you said, maybe August, maybe September, whatever, if they will have to cancel, they will cancel. But as for now, they are preparing. I fully respect that, and this is a good decision. For me as a publisher, is extremely difficult situation to make this decision what to do. We haven't discussed this part yet. I think maybe we can do it now or maybe in next weeks. I'm responsible for my employees, for my people. And now to make decision that I will tell my employees, guys, you go to Essen, and they are not vaccinated, because there is no way in Poland we will have these vaccines by the October, because my employees are all young people, and in Poland the program is that we are vaccinating from the oldest guys to the youngest. So even in these optimistic schedules, my team will not be vaccinated by October or September. And now, I don't know what to do. And this is, I guess, true for many publishers. We all are in this industry, lots of young volunteers, lots of young people, helping out. And I really don't know what to do. Not only mentioning myself, but do I have a right to tell my employee, you go to Essen? Yeah, I don't know.
That is an amazing point that I didn't think of, right? Because for me, first of all, we're doing pretty well now, getting better in the U.S. on the schedule. Not great, better. And Florida happens to be doing better than almost any other state. Wonderful. So all those things are good. And obviously, I'm not in the top category at all. There's three subcategories in the top category. I'm in the big general category.
I am scheduled as for now. I'm scheduled for 2023.
Are you kidding?
According to the how many vaccines we have per day, per week. I will be
Really?
fine. Yeah, 2023.
I'm astonished. I'm astonished
Yeah,
by that.
the whole nation is freaking astonished by our government.
I will not. I
Yeah,
don't
we
talk
don't
about
talk
American
about
politics. I'm not going to talk
Yeah.
about Polish politics. I have no idea how that number is possible. But anyway, so I'm just
But we are talking about the fact that I am responsible for my employees,
yes,
and then I need to make a decision. And this is insane.
yeah. So I think that's going to be a very hard thing for you to do. And since you don't believe anybody's going to be vaccinated, then what do you do? And I no judgment. I'm not going to judge either way, but that is a very interesting call to make. Well, good luck. I'm not the president of a company, so I don't have to make decisions for anybody but Bonacor. And Bonacor, if he's got a vaccine, is going to be in Germany, drinking German beer, hanging out with everybody. So if anybody else is going to be there, I'll see you there. That's very interesting, Ignacy. So here's a great one. I promise not to talk about IDW publishing again. Remember
And
that
then,
we talk about these guys, they lose money, they lose
and
money, they
then-
lose money, millions of dollars they lose constantly. I promise not to. Guess what? I'm going to talk about them again. Which, by the way, they're a publicly traded company. That's another one of those things that we forget about. IDW is a publicly traded company. Their stock symbol is IDWM. I am not giving you advice to buy them, but they are out there. And because they're a very big company, the publishing of games is one small portion of what
yeah,
they
they're
do.
doing comic books mostly. Yeah,
Comic books. They're a media company. They own IPs. That it's much bigger. They're trading at around their 10-year low of $4 a share. So you can read into that any way that you like. Their stock price has gone down and down and down over the last 10 years. But fourth quarter sales of IDW Publishing is the highest in 4 years. And the parent IDW Media Holdings said in their earnings announcement, which again, public, so that all of these numbers are absolutely public. Sales increased from 1.9 million to 7.7 million from 5.8 million in the same period. Sales increased by almost $2 million in that period. So from 5.8 to $7.7 million for that one quarter. So they push out some games, mostly mass market and IP stuff.
but are you telling that even though they have the highest sales ever, they have the lowest price for the share, or you are saying that they are having shares very cheap now and they are doing great, so these shares will go up?
I'm saying that their stock price has gone down and down and down for 10 years, and it's like at the lowest it's ever been. Yes, and they just reported. I think they had a little tick, but it's not like they're doing well. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And I think this might be the last time I talk about them, but I had to say that this is sort of the point that I had in my head. I wanted to mention that they are another company that is public, that if anybody wanted to look into them, feel free to, but I'm not giving you advice to look into them because that's a bad trend for stock pricing. But they also, even in this bizarre world that we're living in right now and this crazy economic climate, they made money. So it's been a really good year overall, not maybe for every game company, but for quite a few game companies have done as good as the year before or even better. IDW did even better. Hasbro, on the extreme side, did even better. I guarantee Asmodee, we will never find out, did much better than they did the year before.
Yes, I'm discussing. Sorry, but for interruption, but
Nope.
I'm discussing it with my friends because I really feel very confused these past months, seeing how well basic in general board games industry is doing, and at the same time seeing people losing their whole life businesses in travel industry, in food industry, all these restaurants, and especially restaurants. These are family businesses, so in so many cases run for sometimes generations.
Yeah.
And then there's a lockdown and the business is closed. And me seeing the everybody's playing board games in lockdown and having great time, and we are doing pretty well. And at the same time, it was like a super random thing. Pandemic hit and there's a random roll. And some industries grow and some industries just go down. And this is like so cruel, and it bothers me. Even though, of course, I'm so happy that it's good for me and my family, but it really bothers me over and over again when I see these businesses going out of the business by a random thing.
Yeah, not to get too down, but it's a cruel world.
Yep.
Cruel, crappy things. I was going to use a different word, but we're a Dice Tower Network. Crappy things happen, and restaurant industry that's the perfect all restaurant, hospitality industry, travel industry decimated. I mean, just
Yep.
terrible, huge percentage. Hey, part of our industry, the retail side, is going to be really, really hurt, and we did okay. The publishing did well. Gamers are buying at record rates. We'll talk about the Kickstarter numbers next week.
Yep.
But interesting stuff. Let's move on to strategy and tactics. So Daniel Magales at Century Soul on BGG, he asks, first he says, always great to listen to you both. Thank you, Daniel. He's
Thank
got
you.
2 questions. We'll allow 2. As mechanization and robots take over some jobs, entertainment still felt like a pretty safe one on that subject. I'm not sure I get it. Let me read as we start to expand and mix entertainment categories, such as Bandersnatch or Drop Mix, what would you love to see? So I guess he's trying to say, how are we going to be mixing technology with board games in the entertainment section? I guess we of course have had phone apps already been used in a fairly significant way in board games. Nasi, is there anything else that we'd like to see in any kind of crossovers between?
Well, he mentioned this Bandersnatch. The one thing that comes to my mind that we can see in 5 years or 10 years, something that you are doing, escape rooms in VR reality. You
That's
just log
great.
in with your friends. You have these goggles on your eyes, and you are in a super amazing artwork and all these effects. And there's no longer escape room, this escape ship or whatever, a spaceship. So there is a moment when our talent, creating these puzzles and scenarios, combined with the new technologies and coders are lazy, remember. All these coders, it may be amazing entertainment for all of us. So something that we already know, escape rooms, but with the VR can be amazing.
Yeah, I think first of all, www.escaperoomadventures.com. Go there to go to the best escape room in South Florida. That would be mine. It really is, and you can do it virtually from anywhere in the world. But beyond that, I think the VR, putting VR into board games or into games in general, there are already games on VR, all VR. But what if somehow we got something between the two? Now that would be kind of cool. Maybe you get to a room and then you put your VR goggles on and then you see the room better.
Yeah, but then suddenly you're in the space or whatever. Like there's so many possibilities, and
yeah,
for sure we will see that in the future.
He also asked something very interesting that I have no idea really what this means. A robot wrote "Won the Road." Maybe that's a song or something, or a book. I don't know what that is.
Poem.
And an algorithm is making your Keyforge decks. Yes, it is. And you ask Alexa to choose some music for your household. my Alexa device just went off when I said the name. Oh my God. It drives me crazy. What do you feel would be the first robot-made tabletop game genre? I'm feeling Pressure Luck or Tile Leg. Do you think we're going to see robots creating board games in the future? I don't know. That's a big leap.
I think that with today's technology, our listeners can prove me wrong, but I guess that we are already at this point that we can have AI running a game session for us. Like you just pick the theme, genre fantasy, genre caves, and the AI can do some noises, some acting, some background music, making a roles for us. So game master being AI, I think it is in our reach.
That's as you're saying that, I said to myself, whoa, what if the dungeon master or game master for a role-playing game was just an AI? They think about, they could generate anything, right? much quicker
Yeah.
than a human. I'm playing in the Pathfinder game. I've been talking about that. They could do things so much faster than our human GM. Sorry, Chad. I know you're a wonderful GM, but they could, random monster encounters happen,
Random dungeons, super
new
background music,
new
the
rooms.
descriptions. Yep.
They read the descriptions in some creepy way, and oh, I want this. Ignacy, get on this. This is huge. I'm
just
gonna
dropping this great idea for us to
boom.
start doing that.
I'm calling Asmodee right now. I'm like, guys, you got to do this. It would be a pretty big AI program, but I think that would be incredible if we ever got to that point. Colin Orr, who's at Coolin86, he says, what are the economics of promos? Do you earn any money from them, or are they just considered a marketing cost? How do you decide what games do you do them for? Ignacy, why don't you take that first?
Yeah, there is as always, there's a few different cases. So sometimes there's a chance when we print a game and there is some leftover material when you produce this game, and we have a chance to additionally print the 2 or 3 cards or additionally print the 2 or 3 tokens. So then the economics are pretty good for us, because there would be a leftover material anyway.
Yes.
So of course we need to get it, we need to put it in the zip bags, we need to read print the rule book, we need to design this promo. So there are some costs, but they're pretty low. Sometimes we decide to print these from the scratch. Like for example, lately we had Tom Waffel asking us for help for his Kickstarter, and we produced for him promos, and it was nothing that was left over. So we just did it for him to support the Dice Tower Kickstarter campaign. So then the costs are a little bit more significant. It is never something that we could call our business model. There is now never like a huge amount of money out of that, but it's a nice way to entertain our hardcore fans, to make something that they are happy about, to get at the conventions, to get in some contests, Facebook, etc. So we earn from promos, not a huge amount of money, but this is enough to make it sense.
Yeah, and to unveil a little bit more about how the industry works and how companies like Portal and Stronghold work. We print when we print with a printer. The cards come off huge sheets of paper, so big that they fit approximately 12 cards across in one direction and 10 cards down, or vice versa. So 120 cards on one very large sheet of paper, and then they're cut. So if your game has 100 cards in it, guess what? You have this paper that's going to get thrown in the garbage by the printer. Or you put some promo cards on that sheet of paper, and then you tell the printer, obviously, these 100 cards go in the box, and these 1 to 20 cards get put aside, and you're just going to ship them to us. So the cost for the printer is pretty small. They got a little labor involved with sorting it and stuff like that. So we get them for free, and then we give them away. We sell them, give them to Tom, all kinds of things like that. So that's a little bit of stuff. Very good analysis there. Lance Coffee, who's at El Coffee, he asks, Ignacy, from your videos, it looks like you do a lot of localization into Polish. Yes, you do. What percentage of your business is original Portal games versus localization? Why don't you take that first, and then we'll continue.
Yeah, this is yes, of course, percentage. It differs in different years. Obviously, when we have a year like 2018 and we sell like 100,000 copies of Detective, this is a significant part of my business. Other year it may be different, but in general, Portal Games is created as actually 3 branches. So we have one company that publishes games in Poland, localize them for Polish market. We have Portal Games US, and that publishes games for North America market. And we also have the third branch that does our games like Detective or Robinson Crusoe for other markets, like for France, Spain, Germany, etc. So we could say easily that in average, there is a 30% of our business model for Polish market, 30% of our business model for America, and 30% of our business of printing our games for different countries. We are talking about these our evergreens like Robinson Crusoe, Detective, Imperial Settlers, etc. And we also have Portal Games Digital that consists of many lazy coders.
He continued by asking you, does your company have the ability to pick and choose which games to localize, or do you need to do everything from certain publishers? You pick and choose all the time, right?
This is very interesting question, and I always say it very openly to our fans in Poland, and that the games that we publish in Poland, we pick them. There is of course situation that each year we get a catalog of our partners that they offer us games to release, and we are not releasing all of this catalog. We are releasing the best picks. So yes, it takes some time to create such a relationship with the partner, trust of this partner, that they know that what we are doing for Poland is the best for the product. And sometimes we have to say no, we will not do this product for Polish market because, and we give reasons. But yes, we are picking, and it's very important for everybody.
And he then goes on to ask me a question, which part of it's dated and part of it's not. Steven, now that you're in Florida, you're traveling more. Is that because you are 100% Stronghold Indie Games, or are there other factors? Well, when I got here, I traveled the same amount as I would have traveled for Stronghold and for Indie. It was the same. No difference. I'm not traveling now at all. Of course, we're not traveling. And I would be traveling quite a bit right now because of the retirement. I want to get back on cruises and planes a lot. And he also asks, have you found a home pub in Florida? I've found many good pubs in Florida. Don't worry. Don't worry. My love of beer and now wine is not abated. Josh Wasser, who's at You Old Goat. I love it. How do you determine the game length that you put on the box? Do you base it on playtime after the same group plays the game several times, after beginners, average them, etc.? So I'll go first. I've always thought of the game length on the box as for experienced players. It can't be for your first time. The first time you're always going to just struggle and get through it. Some people learn it right from the rules and play it. Well, of course it's going to take you twice as long if you pick up the rules and start playing. But for a group that's not getting the game explained and they know how to play the game, this is the approximate time it will take you to play the game. Ignacy, you agree with that?
Yeah, for us, we do it even more simple. Like I have like this categories, like this is 60 minutes game. I never check this with my playtesters, checking them on the stopper if this is exactly 60 minutes. Like if this is a medium Euro, it's 60 minutes game. If this is a heavy Euro, like Pret-a-Porter, it's 90-minute game. And people are playing so differently, and we always know these memes and jokes about downtime in board games. And when you play with me, you play in 20 minutes. When you play with somebody else, you play 2 hours. We all differ, and we play always in different way, in different groups. And as you mentioned, somebody may asking questions about the rules and making it slower, and somebody wants to pour wine to everybody and it takes longer. So yeah, I say it on our boxes very simple. If this is medium Euro, 60 minutes. If this is a heavy Euro, 90 minutes, and I don't put any more thoughts in that.
Have you ever changed rules in your own game design, Ignacy, in order to influence the playtime?
Well, yeah, every time, yes. Every time when you design the game, you want this game to be as smooth and as fast as possible. So every single game I designed had some rules removed just for the sake of the speeding the game.
And it's also, but it's not only speed, but it's streamlining, right? It's like, well, we don't need this, or we need to add this so that the game just flows better. And then based on that, you normally will get a lower playtime because you've changed things to make it work faster and better. And then for both of us, have you ever required a designer to shorten or lengthen a game? Does it tend to change unintentionally from rule changes during development? Yeah, I mean, I've told designers many times, like, this 3-hour game is just not going to work right now. You need it. You need to remove some stuff here to make this the 2.5, and that's kind of pushing it in the current market. You got to streamline. You got to take things out. I know this is your baby. Maybe we do things like this with a expansion if it makes sense in the future. But I've kind of gone in both directions, but mostly short side. Make it shorter, make it streamlined. Agreed?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. That's it for our questions. Let's move over to play testing.
Playtesting. We question you.
It's
How's
you.
my grandma today? What's happening over there?
Oh, my microphone unplugged accidentally. This is yours. Go for it.
Are you sure it is written in English? Because I have my doubts when I see the sentence.
You know, it's funny. I didn't get a chance to look at it. Go ahead. I will change it.
Yep. Okay. And so I will ask the question, then Steven will explain what I meant. So my question, as I wrote it, is: what gamers' behavior in the internet annoys you, and you don't do, and you would love to tell them, please don't do it? So when you log into Facebook and you see something that is, oh, again, why you are doing that? Is there anything like that?
So this is not necessarily a game behavior. This is just
as gamers. We
as
have
gamers,
this,
right?
Yes, we gamers, what we are doing that this is so stupid and annoying or whatever. Like, I can give my example to show what annoys me. Steven is struggling with my sentence.
I'm struggling to get a good sentence.
In the moment, it will be completely different question, I think.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, all right, I'll try. So I'm gonna rephrase it slightly. What behavior of gamers on the internet annoys you most, and you'd love to tell them, please don't do that? I mean, to me,
that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
That's, of course, I know what you mean, and I'm sure everybody did too. It was close, Ignacy. It was close. I mean, to me, I mean, there's just too much negativity. There's too much negativity in the world. There's too much negativity in life. There's too much negativity in politics. We know that. But gamers do that. They throw hate, horrible hate on games for no good real reason other than they want to get their opinion out. I mean, I even tell Tom, I mean, he's a reviewer, so he's got to, criticize games. They have to. Reviewers have to criticize games. But I think he's overly negative, and I tell him that he's overly negative about nitpicky things. But gamers in general are not reviewers. I don't know that they need to be so negative. There is a reason for every game, basically, that's been published. There's an audience for every game. So I might love something that's not your taste. Should you throw hate on my game? I don't think so. I just don't think it's needed. It doesn't really serve a purpose. And instead of throwing hate, maybe just say, this one's not my taste. Right? Or with an explanation, maybe. This one's not my taste. I prefer games that have more deterministic natures. They're more heavy Euro or something. So that Twilight Imperium, not my taste. So that's my thing. Try to be more positive in life in general, but about games in general.
I started giving in Poland example, exactly what you are saying, that not that the game is bad. I don't like it. It is not genre I like, and this is obvious. And I always give this example that games are like music. Somebody likes B.B. King or Eric Clapton. Somebody likes Shakira. Somebody likes Britney Spears. It doesn't mean that B.B. King cannot play guitar. It means that you prefer Shakira, and that's fine. And we can listen to different music. So what was the problem? And what drives me crazy, especially lately, I see so many of these examples, the post on a Facebook group that says, I found this game, the name of the game, on a sale for $15. Is it worth it? And I'm like, dude, I don't know how much you earn money. I don't know how much this $15 is for you. It may be like game changer if you don't earn money. It may be nothing for you. Why you are asking us if this $15 is enough? Like, I really don't get this question, and it annoys me. Please, internet, don't ask me question if this game is worth $20. I don't know how much you have in your wallet. Come on.
It's a very arbitrary, it's a very personal thing. So I would, any big game, right? Big box game. If somebody asked me that question, I'll be like, well, of course it's worth 15 because it used to be 50 or 60 or 80. So it's got to be worth 15. It's worth 15 for the parts that are in the game, probably, if you're going to do prototyping or something like that. So yeah, it's interesting the way that people want to interact with you. So everybody out there, Ignacy, right now, he's going to create a thread on BGG in our guild. Go there, find the playtesting episode 180 question. and answer this question, which I have rephrased again for you. What behavior of gamers on the internet annoys you the most? And you'd love to say to them, please don't do that. Is it something like being positive, or is it something like, I can't tell you what the value of a game is, or something else? Tell us what you think. And now let's wrap up with the final scoring. Thank you all so much for listening. Help us spread the word about this podcast by telling your friends to download Board Games Insider wherever they like to get their podcasts. To ask us questions for our strategy and tactics segment, you must post them in the correct thread in our guild on Board Game Geek. To answer our question to you from our playtesting segment, also go to our guild on Board Game Geek and look for the thread with this episode's question. Board Games Insider has a Facebook page, so like us on Facebook. Also on Facebook, please like Ignacy's page and Steven's page, which is /Portal Publishing and /Podfather Gaming. Our websites, portalgames.pl, portalgamesus.com, and podfathergaming.com. Go there, sign up for the newsletters, and get up-to-the-minute information on what's happening at Portal Games and with the Podfather. On social media, talk directly with Ignacy and Steven. On Twitter, at Portal Games US and at Podfather Gaming. Same on Instagram. And on YouTube, the channel names are Portal Games Movies, Portal Games Play, Portal Games Gameplays. Oh, I got to get a game out of there. And the Podfather of Gaming. I hope to see you at the first convention you can make. I'm starting to think it's going to be Gen Con now. I don't know if Tom's going to want to run first. Gen Con. I'm betting it's going to be Gen Con. Board Games Insider was professionally edited by Matthew Jude from This Game is Broken podcast. If you'd like him to edit your podcast, please contact him on Twitter or email at thisgameisbrokenpodcast@gmail.com. Ignacy, what else you got for these people? Anything else? Anything special? Anything new that you haven't found out?
I can tease you. I can tease you a little bit that this announced already campaign for Book of Adventures, Robinson Crusoe Book of Adventures expansion will surprise you very positively with some unexpected twist that we are working right now on. So stay tuned, and Book of Adventures Robinson Crusoe crowdfunding campaign will have a huge twist. Coming details very, very soon.
I'm going to mention something small too, which will be announced pretty soon anyway. So maybe people get it a day or two before they actually sees it. But Terraforming Mars, the Ares Expedition, which is the upcoming game, the new game in the Terraforming Mars line, separate standalone. It's kind of subtitled Terraforming Mars, the card game. Actually does have a board in it. It has a board. It has tokens. So it's not only cards, but it's mostly cards, and that's why it is a card game version of the board game.
I want to discuss with your marketing team how they will explain the Terraforming Mars card game has cards and the board like the board game, and what's the difference? It will be so fun for them to explain that.
Of course it will be, but it's not. I don't have to do that. It's got a small board. You put little things on
sure.
it.
And the big cards.
And big cards and different art, different cards, different art, and everything. All right, everybody. Thank you again for listening to us. We appreciate it so much. We'll see you next week. Bye now.
Absolutely.